Hey, it's Jason from thelawofassumption.org, and in today's video, I want to talk about one really simple concept related to manifesting. And that concept is this, that manifesting is living in your desired mental images or mental pictures or visualizations, however you like to frame that. When you go about your day-to-day life, you are imaging, you are constantly imaging the reality around you. There's an external reality which you believe is shaping you, or maybe you have believed this in the past. But the truth is, you are projecting these images from within yourself. Whether you do this through visualization, through some kind of inner conscious creation, or you're doing it unconsciously. And this whole process is really an awakening process. It's really very exciting because what's happening inside yourself is being projected out into your external world. So becoming a master image maker, becoming a very proficient manifester is really about learning how to control these images, what Neville Goddard referred to as having a very controlled imagination. And how do we do that exactly? The most important thing that you must do is connect your imagination and connect that control to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. When you're able to occupy the state that you desire, regardless of what's going on in your external 3D reality, that's when you become a master image maker. That's when you step into this power and you begin to create from within. That is the true essence and nature of conscious creation. Going within, crafting these chosen mental images, and holding them steady, regardless of what's going on. Now, typically what happens is you start by imaging what you want, you do some visualization work, and your reality starts to sort of crumble. Sometimes you'll even see the opposite of what you've been imaging. And there are lots of reasons for that that go beyond the scope of this video. But here in this video, we're talking about the process of actually selecting those images, holding to them, and then living in your desired mental image. And let me be clear, by mental image, I don't just mean the visuals, I mean the full experience. This is a full immersion reality. I'm sure you've noticed that by now. It's about your feeling state. It's about the way you're connecting with the world around you. And when you allow that external world to dictate your state of being, then you're giving your power to those external circumstances. And that's when you're actually, what you're doing is you are imaging whatever the reality is giving you. So it becomes this perpetual feedback loop. This is why people get stuck in persistent problems that don't seem to change in their life. So the most important thing you can do is learn how to choose your preferred images, your preferred state of being, hold to that, hold it steady with your inner will, and then allow those images to develop in reality. And I use the term allow here very intentionally. It's very important that you actually allow those inner pictures to develop. If you start to block it, and there's a variety of ways that you could do that. One very common way that you can unintentionally block your own mental images from actually developing is by having too much control over them. You start to develop inner resistance, and that inner resistance can come from one of many channels. It can come from multiple channels. But for example, you may begin to resist some of the things that are going on in your reality. And of course, as we know, what you resist persists. So if you begin to resist a lot of the things in your external reality that you don't like, that you don't prefer, you start focusing on them, you start putting a lot of energy and attention there, you're going to generate more of that energy. You're going to generate more of that imagery in your reality. You're going to manifest more of what you don't want. So if you want to switch that around, you've got to hold steady with the thing that you want, with the feeling that you want, with the state that you have selected. So holding that state steady is the most important thing in manifesting. And when you do that, you are selecting the images that you prefer. You do this by crafting wonderful emotional images within. That's why this is such a subjective process. Only you can determine the kinds of images that are going to light you up from the inside. Genevieve Barron's book, Your Invisible Power, is one of my favorite books for understanding how to implement this process in your life. It's a very short, quick and easy read. I highly recommend it. But the essential component here is crafting your chosen mental images, holding them steady, and then allowing your reality to shift around that. So when we talk about living in the end, what we're really talking about is living in your mental images. When you live in your mental images, you actually take them from that isolated visualization session that you just did over here on the sofa. You take those mental images into your real life and you occupy them. That's how you're able to kind of overlay the things that you want onto the external field that seems to be so real. Remember, this is a kind of holographic reality. It's responding to what you're doing within yourself, but it's doing that all the time. You're, as Neville Goddard would say, you're operating this morning, noon, and night. So it's so important that you learn how to create these powerful images, how to hold them steady with your will, and how to live in your mental picture throughout your day-to-day life. You're never going to be perfect at this, but the more you practice it, the better you'll get. This is why it's so important to become a master image maker, to invest in this part of your life, to dedicate yourself to this practice and to this process. If you find yourself in circumstances that are undesirable, you have the power within to change them. But you have to trust the power, you have to build the power, you have to feed it every day, you've got to give it energy and strength, and you've got to know that it knows how to guide you to your desired end. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I'm Jason from thelawofassumption.org. Come on over to our website, check out more free content just like this. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.